Is It Art? Presented by Jessica Stevenson. This presentation is designed to take a look at some different works of art and determine whether they constitute as art. Body suspension is a form of body modification and endurance art. It falls under the performance and visual arts umbrella. This video I have playing is from August 19th, 2023 at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Philly. It was performed by Rex Body Modifications. Body suspension involves piercing the skin with large sterilized metal hooks, which are then used to hang the person. The hooks are attached to a suspension apparatus such as a hoist or a rig, which are then used to lift the individual. Hooks can be placed in various areas of the body, with the back being the most common point, as well as the knees, elbows, and stomach. I've also seen it done on forearms and shins, but because the skin is more sensitive, it's more prone to tearing. A number of health concerns might be associated with practice, such as excessive bleeding, fainting, fall injuries, and infection. It is extremely important that the suspension should only be performed in a professional, sterile environment by experienced individuals. Why would people take these risks, you might be wondering? Well, there are several reasons people practice body suspension. It has been practiced by many different cultures around the world. Some examples are the Thaipusam Festival and the Shirak Puja Festival, which are both Hindu folk festivals that use body suspension and body modification in their rituals. In North America, the Okipa ceremony, which includes piercing and suspension, has always been a major part of the Mandan religious life. Modern-day suspensions are performed by the modern primitivism movement and were first introduced as a secular activity by Alan Faulkner in the 1980s. Body suspension can be a form of performance art where the body is used as the sculpture. Specific poses are meant to resemble recognizable scenes such as the crucifix or the Superman. Viewers and practitioners appreciate the beautiful lines and shapes created by the body and intricate patterns created by the ropes. Many people claim that while the feelings start off initially as intense pain and anxiety, followed by euphoric or calming release, such as that of a runner's high. At the height of the suspension, the experience can become a trance-like or meditative state, where a physical discomfort turns into a profound sense of calm and clarity. Psychologically, practitioners claim these experiences are transformative and deeply personal. Although practitioners view suspension as a form of self-expression, it is often misunderstood and stigmatized by wider society. This can lead to prejudice, exclusion, and discrimination. Like other forms of body modification that provide a temporary high, suspension could become a compulsive behavior for some individuals, particularly if they are dealing with underlying psychological issues. While many report a positive experience, others may have a negative reaction, such as extreme pain or panic attacks. Body modification is banned in some countries, such as the UK and Australia, citing consent is not a legal defense to causing intense pain to someone else. To that point, I bring up all the literature that has also been banned, and the number of books continues to grow. In some areas, the rituals of the whirling dervish have also been banned. Many works of literature and rituals have been banned at some point in time. Body suspension uses the body as the canvas, and a deliberate physical act is the artwork. Many great works of art evoke emotion or thought. Body suspension is no different. It evokes many different emotions for many different people. The shock and repulsion by some, but to others it is fascinating. Practitioners may perhaps find it as meditative as the whirling dervish find their rituals to be. Some might describe it as transcendent as one describes Broadway's musical The Lion King. Some individuals use suspension as a form of therapy to help with depression, anxiety, or to process trauma. The experience of overcoming physical pain can help refrain emotional pain. Similarly, many famous musicians such as Johnny Cash, Taylor Swift, and Kurt Cobain have written songs to deal with emotional pain. Many forms of art are not for everyone, and that is fine, but it doesn't take away from it being art. For my next
feel your heart as it speaks to you. What do you know? What's always true? Open your eyes. What do you wanna see? What you desire?
This song was written by a friend of mine, Maya Hunter. She performs under the name La Nouvelle. She describes her genre as pop antagonist. When discussing this song with me, Maya explained the meaning of the song was something she wrote when she was in early sobriety. She explained her experience was that the world changed and everything bloomed into color and feeling and possibilities. She remembered it was quite shocking that she had never heard anyone talk about it before and it was all new to her. She calls this feeling psychedelic candelabra, which is a mixture of the two words psychedelic and candelabra, which is the word she uses to describe her experience of newly seeing herself in others. Maya noted how drugs and alcohol had taken singing and songwriting off the table for her since she was young, and she finally got it back, and this was just the beginning. Music in any form is therapeutic. Whether someone is performing or listening, it has deep value and meaning. The mediums in this piece were autotune, vocals, and digital music. Some might not consider this music for a variety of reasons. Some debate the use of autotune as cheating or a crutch. For decades, famous musicians have used autotune. Autotune originally was used for pitch correction to fix minor inaccuracies. Now it is used as a technological tool where artists use it to create stylized vocal sounds, often sounding robotic. Music does not need to be mainstream for it to be valid. Independent artists have more freedom and don't have the pressure of maintaining certain endorsements or having a hit record. Mainstream also has fragmented from what it once was. There is no longer just one artist or band that everyone wants to listen to. I have a different playlist for every occasion, varying widely in genre and language, and I know I am just one of many. Record labels often exploit artists and have a large say in how something is produced. Being an independent musician can give you freedom to do what you love. Money doesn't have to be the goal. According to Carolina Music Therapy, music exists to facilitate emotional expression, enhance mental and physical well-being, and build cultural and social connections. La Nouvelle song does all of that. I can identify with Maya's song meaning. Music is a universal language and communicates emotions and can connect people on a human level. For my third piece of art, I chose the performance art of Paranormal Cirque by Cirque Italia. Paranormal Cirque is considered a new type of circus because it combines traditional circus arts with a European-style horror cabaret, featuring adult themes and a dark, spooky atmosphere that set it apart from traditional family-friendly circuses. It is a show with mature humor, gore, and seductive performances. These performances feature circus acts like acrobats, trapeze, and juggling, blended with horror themes and burlesque cabaret. Performers interact with the audience, and the show uses loud sound effects, music, and special effects like fire and fog. I actually went to see this performance. I can say it did feel very commercial entertainment-y and a bit amateurish. The narrative was a bit loose, nor was it thought-provoking, and the only paranormal feel to it was that everyone had on fake blood. Overall, it really wasn't as conceptual or as spooky as I had imagined it would be. Some people have described it as raunchy and off-putting. The sexual innuendos and burlesque was just not their cup of tea. They've called it vulgar, lowbrow entertainment. What I do want to say about this performance is that it takes a lot of skill. The fire juggler was fantastic, and the trapeze artists were phenomenal. As you saw in the clip and videos, many of the acts were dangerous, and there was no safety net under anyone. I certainly couldn't run in a giant hamster wheel up in the air. The burlesque aspect was seductive and provocative. It was definitely more theatrical entertainment than avant-garde performance, but I still would consider it performance art. Sometimes performance art is just supposed to engage in audiences and provoke reactions such as shock and amusement. This clip I am about to play for you is a British adult animated web series created by David Firth in 2004.
I like rusty spoons. I like to touch them. The feeling of rust against my salad fingers is almost orgasmic. I must find the perfect spoon.
You might be wondering what you just saw. Well, Salad Fingers falls under dark surrealist web animation. It is in the weird horror or weird fiction subgenre, which combines elements from different genres like fantasy, science fiction, and gothic fiction. It focuses on the unknown rather than shock and gore. The protagonist is a green humanoid creature with lettuce for fingers who likes rusty spoons. He inhabits a desolate world and has a questionable grip on reality. The narrative often has no meaning behind it. Salad Fingers is considered by some to be lowbrow, pulp entertainment with basic animation. Episodes feature disturbing images such as purposely injuring himself and ripping the skin off his own finger. In one episode, he accidentally cooked a child to death during a dinner party that he was having for his finger puppets. Now I'd like to bring to your attention why Salad Fingers is spectacular. This was an avant-garde piece. It pushed boundaries and was different than anything that had been created before. Salad Fingers is credited to shaping experimental online animation and its use of unique artistic elements like crude animation and a focus on tone over narrative. Its influence can be seen in later weird YouTube hits like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and even some mainstream horror films. Many psychological thrillers and movies that can be described as disturbing have won Oscars, including The Exorcist and Silence of the Lambs. Tim Burton's Corpse Bride is weird horror animation and has been nominated for an Academy Award. Although it didn't win, being nominated is still a huge achievement. I mention these things to say weird horror has a place in the arts. Salad Fingers holds a nostalgic place in my soul. I was a teenager and everything around me was falling apart. And if even for a brief second, I could escape into the nonsensical web animation that just let me not have to think about where my sister or I were going to sleep or where our next meal was going to come from, then it did its job as what art is supposed to do. The act of creating art is a fundamental part of human behavior, and whether something is art is subjective. There isn't a maximum number of artworks that can be created. We don't need to gatekeep the authors, musicians, performers, artists, or anyone else from doing something meaningful. Even if it's just meaningful to them, that is enough.